بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين لا قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم my sons and daughters wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah we are going to continue مناسك الحج. عفوا sorry. Yes. Okay. So inshallah we're going to continue Manasik al-Hajj today. So we were discussing about the nafaqa, the expenses of Hajj. We said the istata'a, the capacity or the ability for Hajj, it depends on certain conditions. So one of the conditions is raba, and nafaqa. So we stopped here and we are going to discuss an-nafaqa today. So, an-nafaqa. So what is nafaqa? What is expenses? What is the required expenses for Hajj become for the Hajj to become wajib upon me? ويعبر عنها بالزاد والراحلة. It is expressed by these two things. Zad, that means your sustenance, your things which you will need in your travel, and rahila is your traveling means of traveling. Nowadays, it's not a camel or horse, it is a plane or a train or a car or a bus or a ship. By sea, people they travel. Bizadi wa rahila. And zad is, so he says, وَيُقْصَدُ بِالزَّادِ كل ما يحتاج إليه في سفره من المأكول والمشروب وغيرهما. Food, drink, and whatever besides food and drink, what he needs in his travel. So that means soap, shampoo, hygiene issues, cleaning issues, clothing. So there's so many things you might need. It depends on you. People, they have different needs in travel. Your needs might be a little bit lesser than somebody else's need. So if your needs are available, then it is wajib upon you to go for Hajj. But if your needs were more than the average, okay, then you will need that in order for Hajj to become wajib upon you. So, min daruriyat dhalika as-safar. Okay, the provision is whatever provision, whatever necessities you need in your journey, you need to make sure that you have that. If you don't have that, Hajj will not become wajib upon you. So this is the provision, az-zad. والراحلة الوسيلة النقلية, the transport means of transportation التي يستعان بها في قطع المسافة, which is used to cut the distances. Okay, you use it to cut the distances traveling. ويعتبر فيهما أن يكون مما يليق بالحال. It should be in a way that it is suitable for your status. For example, for me, I can travel on any economical class, any cheap budgeted airline. So if that is suitable for me. So if I get a cheap budgeted, and I have not performed for Hajj, for example, the obligatory, and if I get a cheap budgeted airline, which is suitable for me, then it becomes obligatory on me. But let's say one of my beloved friends, he cannot travel on cheap budget airline for long distances. Let's say you're coming from United States, or you're coming from long distance flight, 7 hours, 10 hours, 11. Maybe for that person, cheap budget airline is not suitable. I mean, he might have spinal problems, back problems, this problems, that problems. He need to travel on a proper airline. Or no, his situation could be worse. He need to travel in a first class or business class or something like that. It depends. because he cannot travel. It's not suitable for his status. Status doesn't mean that he's rich. No. Status means that he has problems. And also, richness is also one of the things. But we talk some practical things that nowadays even rich people, they try to save money and they don't travel on business class. But there are people, they feel lengthy trips are difficult for them in normal or especially the cheap budgeted, where even the distance between the chairs is very short, and that can cause knee problems, leg problems for some people, and some people they can survive. So بما يليق بحال المكلف, even the food, maybe for you hummus and bread might be sufficient. Maybe somebody, no, if he does not eat like a proper meal. I know that when I travel, there are two types of people. One who can survive with chips. Every time he gets chips and juice, and this is, he survives. But there are people, they tell me, Sheikh, if we don't get proper meal, we will die. So we have to find for them proper meal, like proper, like in one of the seminars in United States, we went, and in the seminar, I had some, mashallah, some of those who eat proper meal. So they came with me. So the meal, dinner was distributed, was sandwiches. So this guy is waiting for dinner, and the dinner was already served, and he ate his sandwich. And I was waiting for dinner. Sheikh, where's the dinner? I said, that was the dinner. This was dinner. Wasn't this an appetizer? I said, no. Snack? No. Dinner. He said, no, Sheikh, I will not be able to sleep. I want a proper meal. So people, this is the way it suits his body, his physiology, biology. Then he needs to make sure that his proper meals are provided in his Hajj trip. So when Sayyidi Sistani says, "Mimma yaliqu bihalil mukallaf," that means suitable for the responsible person. And people, they have variances in their food, in their traveling, in their nature necessity. Somebody, he needs to carry pharmacy with him, so many medicines. May Allah keep us all away, and those people are using them, may Allah cure them. So he has to have like 10, 15 types of medicine. If he doesn't buy those medicine, he can't travel for Hajj. He might get heart attack, he might get some severe disease. So that is added to his provision. So after knowing that the provision is suitable for the responsible person, excuse me. Yes. Now, مما ولا يشترط وجود أعيانهما. Is it necessary that I I I have the food itself, I have the medicine itself, I have the provision itself, or no, I have the money in order to use it to buy those things? He said, no, you don't have to. Like there are times, I remember we used to travel Iraq. So many families, they will carry boxes of milk, boxes of tuna fish, boxes of. It was like the food was polluted in Iraq at some time. So I said, what is this? They said the food is polluted. I said, people are living, surviving there. They're not dying. No, there are kids dying. They don't have milk and this and that. Okay, for the kids, but for you, tuna, cans of tuna, like so a cartoon of box with food and this and that, like we were going in a country, desert country. No, there was food. There were people living, surviving. And but anyhow, so you don't have to carry your food all the way to Makkah and Medina. No, if they sell food there, if they provide food there, make sure that you have the money. This is all those days when people were traveling individual. Nowadays, you get these packages, and these packages, you have everything there. 3 meals are there. If you don't want 3 meal, 1 meal at least is there, bed and breakfast meal. So you can. So do I need to have the food and all these sustenance and provisions and everything with me? No. Yes, medicines, perhaps you have specific medicines, you might not find it. But as long as you have money and you know that you will be able to get halal food and those kind of things, you don't have to carry food with you. Obviously, you're not going to carry your camel with you because you have to buy the ticket already. Ruling number 18. يختص اشتراط وجود الراحلة بصورة الحاجة إليها لا مطلقا. Um, the condition we said, provision and the means of traveling. So means of traveling is obligatory when it's a condition when, which makes Hajj obligatory if you are going to use it. Okay. But if you're living in Makkah and you don't need to buy ticket, you don't need to buy ticket. You don't need to. If you're going to walk, like for example, the Imam Hassan alayhi salatu wasalam did so many Hajj walking on foot. So if you're planning to walk, you're in Medina, you want to walk for Hajj, then you don't need to have that kind of money for the train or for the bus or for the taxi or for the car. You don't need, because you're planning to walk. You have enough money to be there, but you don't have money for these detailed small travelings. Fine, if you're planning to walk from Medina to Makkah and Makkah to Arafat and Arafat to Muzdalifah and Muzdalifah to Mina, fine. No need to have this. This condition is dropped. لا مطلقا, not absolutely you have to. ولو مع عدم الحاجة إليها, even if you don't need it, such as what? كما إذا كان قادرا على المشي من دون مشقة ولم يكن منافيا لشرفه. As he was able to walk, he is able to walk, he doesn't need. So without any difficulty and hardship, and it was not against his honor, because many times those people, poor people who can't afford, they used to walk. So many times people will look at them down, which is totally wrong. So this person says, if I'm going to walk, people will disrespect me, will demean me, will. If it is going to be that, then no, you just go by car or by taxi or by other things, which you by train nowadays, they have trains. So you don't have to walk. But what kind of demeaning and devaluing and degrading? Imam Hassan alayhi salam, the Sayyid Shabab Ahl al-Jannah, master youth of paradise, he used to walk for Hajj, and some other Imams as well, alayhi salam. But Imam Hassan is recorded to be mostly. So, yes. So he says that يختص اشتراط وجود الراحلة بصورة الحاجة إليها. If you don't need it, then it is not required for you to have rahila. I mean, means of transportation. But, and always whenever I explain in prerequisites of obligation in Hawza classes, in Ilm al-Usul, that if the only way for you, because Hajj became activated, now the only way for you is to go by airplane, then you have to buy the ticket. Who said you have to buy? Who said wajib? Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, buy the airline ticket? Or did Rasul say, Qala sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, buy the airline ticket? No. This is because Hajj became wajib, because you have the capacity, you have the money to spend in Hajj to buy the ticket, and so you have to. Let's say you have two options, either by sea or either by air or even by car. Three options. So you have an option. But if that options are narrowed, let's say if car was difficult, by sea was difficult, the only way you can go is by air, and you can afford it, then go by air. You have to. So why you have to? Did Rasulullah say? No. This is called intellectual wajib. Because Shar'i wajib is I have to be in Makkah and I have the capacity. So intellectual wajib says buy the ticket. That's the only way for you to be there. Intellectual obligation, not religious obligation, intellectual obligation, which is under the religious obligation, under the activation of Hajj. So, العبرة في الزاد والراحلة بوجودهما فعلا. Obviously, I mean, you have to have these or their money in order for Hajj to become activated upon you, obligated upon you. If you don't have, the Hajj is not obligated. So you really need to have the food and the means of transportation, either by itself, either the money of it. Okay? So let's say you don't have. فَلَا يَجِبُ عَلَى مَنْ كَانَ قَادِرًا عَلَى تَحْصِيلِهِمَا بِالِاكْتِسَابِ وَنَحْوَهُ. I don't have money, but I'm going to do business. I'm going to do overtime and get that money. No, then Hajj is not wajib upon you. Hajj becomes wajib upon you if you already have it. Hajj does not make obligation upon you to earn, because earning comes before the activation of Hajj, before the obligation of Hajj. The earning causes a sufficient amount of money to go for Hajj. That sufficient amount of money makes the Hajj obligation. Hajj doesn't tell you to go and earn. So if you don't have and you are going to earn, then Hajj is not wajib upon you. لا مطلقا. No, this one. فلا يجب على من كان قادرا على تحصيلهما بالاكتساب ونحو. Like earning, like getting. No, if you don't have to borrow, you don't have to. No. So Hajj is not wajib upon you. Once you have it, then Hajj will become wajib upon you. ولا فرق في اشتراط وجود الراحلة مع الحاجة إليها بين القريب والبعيد. There's no difference that the means of transportation is required. That is, if you are going to use it, we said, regardless of you living close to Makkah or far away from Makkah, means of transportation is one of the conditions that makes the Hajj obligatory. You have money, but all the bookings are full. The flights are full. Hajj is not obligated upon you. Where will you go? Will you close your eyes and say kun fayakun and you'll be in Makkah? Okay? No. Unless if you have Irfani power, then yes, you can do like that, for example. But in normal cases, that you need means of transportation. Except if you are not going to use it, like we said, the guy who is planning to go mashi, walking. But if you are not going to walk, so be it you are close to Makkah or farther of Makkah, you need means of transportation. The means of transportation are not available, Hajj is not wajib. The means of transportation are available, the Hajj is wajib. Good. Ruling number 20. الاستطاعة المعتبرة في وجوب الحج. The ability that is required in the obligation that makes the Hajj obligatory. إنما هي الاستطاعة من مكانه لا من بلده. It is from where you are located and you have the capacity to go for Hajj, not necessarily from your hometown. Let's say, for example, one of you goes for business in Qatar or in Dubai or in any of these close countries. And Hajj season comes. You are there for 3-4 months doing your business and Hajj comes. From USA, the Hajj may be $10,000, for example, nowadays. From Qatar, it's $6,000, for example, maybe because it's closer, cheaper, less days. The tickets are cheaper, for example. Or let's not make it too big gap, because the tickets are the difference, but everything else is same for people living in Gulf or other ways. So let's say the package of Qatar was $8,000 and package from United States or Europe was $10,000. So now what? You can't say I have to have $10,000 so that I can go for Hajj because I'm from America. No, you are now not in your hometown. You are in Qatar. So consider the package of Qatar. Do you have $8,000? Yes, I have $8,000. But I'm from USA. My package is $10,000. Forget about it. Now, where are you? I'm in Qatar. Okay, then you need to, you have 8,000. Go for it. Hajj is wajib upon you. Finish. So he says, La min baladi, where you are located now in the season of Hajj. فإذا ذهب المكلف إلى بلد آخر للتجارة أو لغيرها. Therefore, if the responsible person travels to another country for business or for any other thing, maybe he went to Saudi Arabia for Hajj. I mean, for business. He was in Dammam or Riyadh for 3-4 months, and the Hajj season comes. There, it's way cheaper because you can go by car. You can go by, you're in Medina, for example. You can go by train, so then it will be way cheaper. It could be $6,000, could be 7,000, something like that, because airline ticket will not be required then anymore. Well, so Hajj, treatment, medicine, okay, ziyarat, whatever, you're there for ziyarat, and the tickets are cheaper from ziyarat, for example. وكان له هناك ما يمكن أن يحج به من الزاد والراحلة. And where you were located, you were able to provide means of transportation and even provision. Means of transportation, let's say some of your friends from Qatar were going by road for Hajj. They say, we have one room in our car, just get on. So then you don't have to pay anything, maybe participating in gas or petrol, but khalas, ticket gone. So, and you are able to provide that kind of, you are able to afford it. أو ما بقي, okay, وكان هناك ما يمكن أن يحج به. You had in that place where you're located enough for you so that you can perform your Hajj from the provision and the means of transportation من الزاد والراحلة. أو ما يفي بتحصيلهما من النقود. Or no, you are able to you had money, so you have enough money that you can buy the provision in Makkah or get a ticket. So you have enough money remaining from your business trip or whatever. وجب عليه الحاج, because you are مستطيع there. Maybe in your hometown you are not مستطيع, but now you are مستطيع. You found a friend, that friend said, okay, 50% of your provision and this I'm going to pay, and you can hop in our bus or in our car, so you don't have to pay anything. So now Hajj becomes wajib upon you. وإن لم يكن مستطيعا من بلده, even if he was not able to from his hometown, even if he was not able to from his hometown. Okay. Ruling number 21. إذا كان للمكلف ملك, you have property, okay, you have something you own. So ولم يوجد ما يشتريه بثمن المثل. So you have something you own and you want to sell it to go for Hajj. So you have something which you don't need it. That means it's extra for you, extra plot, extra thing, which is enough for the provision of the Hajj. Okay. But you don't have a good buyer. So you have an item, you have some gold you want to sell, you have extra, you don't need it. You have a plot extra, you don't need it. Okay, it's just lying there. That means you are capable. That plot costs about $20,000 or 10,000. That means you can afford Hajj. Okay. So إذا كان للمكلف ملك ولم يوجد من يشتري بثمن المثل. You don't have a buyer who could buy with its known price, the price which is worth, that item is worth of. وتوقف الحج على بيعه. So you have that means Hajj is wajib upon you. You have something you own which is sufficient and you're not in need of it. وتوقف الحج على بيعه بأقل منه. So now you have to go for Hajj. But if you sell it, the market is not good. It will not give you even the cost to cost price. It will bring you less. أقل منه وجب البيع. Okay. Then it is obligatory to sell that property, sell that extra thing which you don't need it, which you have not even secured it for your future. It's just there. That means Hajj is wajib upon you. So now how to cash that property? You see, it's not in a form of money. You are able to in a form of property, in a form of an item. So he said, if you have to sell it for less, you have to sell it for less. But there's a condition. As long as that less is not going to be causing you difficulty and hardship, or is going to be too cheap to be less. Let's say $10,000 property, or let's say $30,000 property, and you need to Hajj $10,000. So you're going to sell 10,000. It's way cheap, huge loss. So if that huge, it's going to cause huge loss, which is not suitable for that kind of item, then you don't have to sell it, and the Hajj will not be obligatory. You don't have to means it's not wajib upon you. Hajj is not wajib upon you. But if you want to sell it in a less price and go for Hajj, Allah will bless you. Whoever spends anything in Hajj comes back in multiplication. You go visit the most generous, the generous of the generous, the cause of every generous. He gives you everything back, sometimes in installments. I have my personal experience, alhamdulillah. I went for Hajj and I took loan, and that loan which I was able to pay, subhanallah, it got paid just like that. I was expecting 6-7 months. In 1 month, it got paid off. So that's Allah's generous. You come, you strive to Him, He's more generous than you. If you're going to become generous for Allah, towards Allah, Allah is going to be more generous towards you. So again, this ruling says you have a property that makes the Hajj obligatory upon you. Now you need to sell it, which you don't need it, and it's like your assets. Instead of money, you're having money, you have a form of property. But you don't have a buyer who could buy in a equal price of the property, the cost of the property. You have a buyer who could buy in less, sell it in less, unless if that less was too less and it was not suitable for you to sell that in a huge loss. وإذا ارتفعت الأسعار فكانت أجرة المركوب مثلا في سنة الاستطاعة أكثر منها في السنة الآتية. Okay, so now let's say you are able to, okay, this year the airline ticket is $1,000, which you are able to. Next year the airline ticket would be 1,500, which you will not be able to. Okay, so you should not be delaying the Hajj just because of the airfare is high, because that's the practical thing. وإذا ارتفعت أجرة الأسعار, you see, you had the capacity of Hajj, istata' Hajj became wajib upon you. Now you are going to buy the ticket, somebody jinxed you, or somebody gave you a black eye, or whatever eyes whatsoever people they believe. Anyhow, you went, the price became rocket high. They shoot up, and it happens a lot. If you buy the ticket early, it was not mustati', and the ticket was $500. But now you're mustati' before 1 week, obviously you'll get $1,500. So now I said, oh my goodness, what should I do? But next year it can be 2,000. So because the ticket went high, that means there's a possibility the Hajj became deactivated because your istata' has gone away. You're no more mustati', okay? Because your capacity was 10,000. Now it's 10,500, and 10,000 were you are on that brink of that the tight neck. So وإذا ارتفعت الأسعار فكانت أجرة المركوب مثلا سنة الاستطاعة أكثر منها في السنة الآتية. Let's say the ticket prices went up, and the upcoming year, this year was more than the upcoming year. لم يجوز التأخير. It is not permissible for you to delay. لمجرد ذلك, just because of this change in the price, it is not permissible for you to delay. بعد فرض وجوب المبادرة فيها إلى الحج. After the activation of the Hajj, after the activation of the obligation of the Hajj that you have to go, you cannot delay just because there's a price difference. So the Hajj does not become deactivated. Just go, find, let somebody help you with that extra. You have to go because Hajj became activated. So this raise of the price at the end for Sayyidi Sistani does not deactivate your Hajj. That means you are not supposed to delay. last ruling, ruling number 22, إنما يعتبر وجود نفقة الإياب في وجوب الحج. So, when we talk about the ticket, we talk about the return ticket, not just going back. Yeah, if you're from Bangladesh, those people who go for Hajj and stay there to work job and earn, and India and Malaysia and those people where their economy is horrible, they come here for Hajj and they stay there and they don't want to leave and they start earning. So if you're planning for that, obviously you should not go against the law of the land. But let's say if you are planning to violate the rule, then you don't need to have a return ticket. But nowadays they will not give you visa unless they see that you have a return ticket. So automatically by default, you have the return ticket. So he says the return ticket or the return expenses, because when you are returning by car, you will need petrol, you will need food for the way, you need everything, and you are away from your hometown. So you will need money, or you need a ticket. So he says that why is return provision and return ticket, return expenses obligatory? إذا أراد المكلف العود إلى وطنه, if the mukallaf was intending to come back to his hometown. وأما إذا لم يرد العود, if he's not planning to come back, to return. Let's say he got a wife, local wife, and he got married there, khalas, settled there. Let's say he found an opportunity of business and he was able to establish a business, open a business, Makkah, just stay there, get a business legally. I'm talking about legally, not going against the law of the land. So, وَأَرَادَ السُّكْنَ, so, khalas, you don't need to have return. Or no, you are planning to go to Qatar, okay, which is less than coming back to USA. So you need to have that ticket for Qatar. So, أو بلد آخر غير وطني, or you are planning to go to other country other than your hometown. فلا بد من وجود what? النفقة إلى ذلك البلد. Then you need to have the provision or the expenses for that country or that city which you are planning to go. ولا يعتبر وجود مقدار العود إلى وطنه. And you don't have this provision, you don't have to have enough amount to come back to your hometown, since you are not coming back to your hometown. نعم إذا كان الذهاب إلى البلد الذي يريد السكن فيه أكثر نفقة من الرجوع إلى وطنه. He says, however, if going to Qatar, the ticket is going to be more expensive than coming back to USA or back to Europe, لم يعتبر وجود النفقة إلى ذلك المكان. Okay, then you have to have the hometown expenses. You don't have to have that amount. So, like people say, how a ticket to Qatar? Yeah, like for example, those people that are living in UK, so, the ticket is $500 for going from UK to Karachi and coming back. And those people who are living in Doha, their flight ticket is $300. You're coming all the way from UK and transiting in Doha and going to Pakistan, $500. And those who live in Qatar, they spend $300. So don't be surprised if going to the near country is more expensive than coming back to hometown. So he says, if you're planning to go to other city and that other city, the expenses were more than coming back to home, then you don't need to have that more for the obligation of Hajj. لم يعتبر وجود النفقة إلى ذلك المكان. No. The main thing is coming back to hometown. If you're planning to go there, that's your business. But Hajj becomes wajib with this return ticket to hometown. بل يكفي في الوجوب. It is enough for the obligation of Hajj. وجود مقدار العودة إلى وطنه. Enough amount that brings you back to your hometown. إلا مع الاضطرار إلى السكن فيه. Unless if you were compelled to stay in it. So basically, you don't need to have enough amount to go to another city. If it was expensive, more costly to go another city, no, then come back to hometown. Unless if you are compelled to go to another city, Qatar, for example, then you have to have that money, which takes to compel. If you're not compelled, come back to hometown, home sweet home. But if you are not compelled, come back home. You don't need, Hajj is wajib upon you. You don't need to go there. But if you're forced to go there, your job was there. If you go there, you'll miss your job. You lose your job. There'll be a difficult problem. It's a necessity which makes you go there. Then you have to have enough amount to go to that city for the Hajj to become wajib upon you. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.